All right, we're going to try and get Jayed-Leigh Paulse, who's of course in Umzinto, in that area where there have been some disruptions relating to the special voting that is taking place. Residents in that area indicating that they are not going to participate in the election, basically saying that they're not happy with an election candidate in that area. We saw a bit earlier on a large police presence in that particular area. We're trying to hear from our colleagues exactly where we're going to go now, but we do know that quite a number of incidents that have been taking place throughout the country. Jayed-Leigh Paulse, I understand, is back on the line with us. Jade, a very good afternoon to you. What is the situation on the ground there now?
Good afternoon to you, Crisalda, and to the viewers back at home. Yes, we were actually getting ready to do a crossing with you because things had normalized on the ground. It was quieter. Police had dispersed the large crowd that were, clashing with the police officers, and we were trying to set up, but then we got intimidated as the SABC and decided to opt for a hybrid crossing. Many of the community members coming and interfering with us and asking us why we're not telling the story this way and that way, and asking us what are we doing here. But as it stands now, the situation has been contained. It's much more quieter. The station commander was also on top of the hill where we couldn't get to where the alleged shooting took place. We're still trying to get confirmation, Crisalda, exactly how many people were shot. There are allegations coming from the community that the ward councillor Umzinto allegedly his body got shot at the community. 5 people were shot. One is in critical condition in hospital. So we're still trying to ascertain that information from SABC. So as it stands now, we're still trying to wait for the police to get back to us to confirm these allegations. We did speak to one police officer that was able to come down from the hill that we could not get to. That's where the shooting took place, and he said that 2 people had been shot, but obviously we need to get national and provincial confirmation on this right now. So as it stands, everything is, has settled down now in terms of the clashes between the community and the police, but there are still tension in the air, especially around the media being present, and that's why we had to leave that volatile area. Crisalda.
I guess, Jade, the concern is also the fact that there are those that might have wanted to participate in the special vote, and the IEC was asked whether contingency plans had been put in places where there had been disruptions. Do you know if any voting or special voting took place in that area today? Do you know if there's a likelihood that this tension might also spill over in tomorrow and even on Monday, when the rest, I guess, of that community is expected to go out and cast their votes?
I can tell you now, Crisalda, with the tensions in the air, there's definitely, the community have also said they're not going to vote. The voting did not take place today. The school where the special votes were taking place was completely vandalized. The community say they are not going to place the X on the ballot papers. And this all stems from that ward councillor. They're saying they did not nominate him. They don't understand why his name is on the candidate list. They're saying that it's fraudulent. None of the community members voted for this man, but his name is simply on the list. So they want to know why is he on there. Now, we are trying to get hold of the ANC. Unfortunately, we met a stumbling block trying to get hold of them to also get confirmation from the ANC in the province as to do they know about this community and the clashes that they have and the anger that they have towards their ward councillor. This ward councillor in particular has been, running for 5 years now, and many are saying that he has not brought change in the community. So they simply cannot understand why he has been re-elected, and saying that the community did not put him on that list of candidates. So they don't understand why he's there, and that is where all this tension mounts from. So as it stands now, Crisalda, from speaking and engaging with the community on the ground, many are saying they are not going to vote come the 1st of November. None of the special voting took place today. That poll station was closed down because it was vandalized.
Jade, had that area been flagged as one of the areas of concern? I recall in the run-up to this election, the IEC as well as the police had been asked about where they had been setting their eyes on in terms of hotspot areas. Had this area been identified, or is this an issue that is all of a sudden we wake up this morning and find that this particular area is now volatile?
There's several areas in KwaZulu-Natal that are hotspots, and we've seen Minister Becky Cele saying that eThekwini and several of the South Coast and as well as the North Coast. So Umzinto was on that list of possible places that could see tensions mounting from the community. However, we did not expect it to be at this extent. When we arrived here as the SABC, things were really tense, and we were quite shocked because when reports had come out, we had thought that it was just a small squabble between the community and the police. But when we got here, we saw the Caspers, we saw about 40 police members on the ground trying to contain the situation. So we were really shocked as well to see what was taking place. Now, Griselda is still a Casper, there are still police on the ground. Many are still patrolling to ensure the safety of community members. And I suppose it's also very sad for those who wanted to go out and cast their special votes, because now, it's 11 minutes past 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
The time is now gone. They can't cast their votes.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, but I think we're going to be monitoring this as the SABC in the province, also overnight to see if there's going to be any clashes, and also right into Monday, and see whether or not this community will be able to come out, especially those that are not part of the community that are calling for that councillor to be removed from that list.
Jayed, we appreciate your time. Please do stay safe out there with our colleagues at Jayed-Leigh Paulse in Umzinto in the south of KwaZulu-Natal. They're indicating that the situation is still quite volatile in that area. Police remain there. No voting took place there today. You would know that today and tomorrow special voting is taking place. In fact, those voting stations closed about 9 minutes ago. You would know that voting stations open from 8 until 5. So a lost opportunity for that particular community. Let's see how things unfold in that area. We'll try to get hold of the National Police to hear what they say about police deployment in that particular area. We're not sure if we're going to have any success with that. However, the IEC says it's happy with a day one of special voting, despite that incident that you just saw. Just over 1.1 million people had applied to cast their special votes. However, the IEC says it's concerned following a number of incidents, including that one we just showed you, since the voting got underway today. SABC News spoke to the IEC Chief Electoral Officer, Saima Babolo, a bit earlier on about that incident there in Umzinto and the situation in Camperdown, also in KwaZulu-Natal, where 8 voting stations could not open today.
With an operation of this magnitude at 23,000 points, you are likely to have some incidents. The Camperdown situation has now since been resolved. Those voting stations are now operational, as is the case in the Eastern Cape, where we experienced some community protests. All those stations, bar 3, had been restored by midday. Wobbly, perhaps, if you want to say it, in the morning, but progressively strengthening throughout the day. And when we go into tomorrow, even stronger, building up to a good operation on Monday.
How confident are you, though, with just what you're saying in terms of, the days will become easier as it continues? I mean, we know that we are one day and a couple of hours, to the 1st of November. Let's talk about what is happening in Umzinto. We have a reporter who is stationed there. It looks like the situation is a bit tense in the fact that people are being prevented from going to a particular voting station there to cast their votes.
Yes, there are those incidents such as in Umzinto. We are in constant contact with security agencies. They have the resources and the commitment to ensure that people do in fact reach the station. If it's not resolved in the next hour, by morning it would be resolved, and people who have applied and have special votes approved for them will be availed to them, so that by tomorrow, the 1.1 million people who are entitled to these votes would have made those votes.